You can't do this for thousands of emails or thousands of companies, but by using AI agents, they just go to this person's LinkedIn and then their company website and then customize your email and send those emails. They work well.
Welcome to episode 13 of Tool Use. This week, we're focusing on AI in marketing. We're going to teach you how to build your own personal AI marketing agency. We're going to show you how to turn Obsidian into a viral tweet generator, and we're going to get exclusive tips and tricks from an AI marketing prompt engineer, so you're going to want to stick around for it. If you haven't seen Tool Use before, it's a weekly conversation about helpful AI tools where we teach you what is possible today with real examples. We talk to other AI tool makers to get their tips, tricks, and share their experiences. I'm Mike Bird, talking with Ty Fiero. Ty, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm really excited for this particular episode because I'm a builder, I'm a coder, definitely not a marketer. I would love to have that skill. It's just not my forte. So I'm excited to learn. I feel like there's a lot I can learn here. My knowledge ceiling is pretty low here, so I'm excited to learn more about it.
Yeah, and filling in these gaps with AI, that's exactly what it's made for.
All right, Mike, let's see what you got first. I went first last week. I'm excited to see what you got.
You know I love Obsidian, so I just had to add more functionality. I actually use the Obsidian plugin generator from our pip package, so I hope everyone's installed it because it's just the gift that keeps on giving. But check this out. I wanted to make this new plugin that would actually take the content of my Obsidian base, because I use it for knowledge store, and generate tweets from it. So I was thinking, let's just generate some random copy with puffins, and let's spread the good word on Twitter about puffins. So I created the plugin for a tweet generator, and what it'll do is it takes the text that you've copied and generates different tweet options. And it's actually configurable if you want only one, if you want to get 5, and it'll give you all of them. So let's see, what's viral? What no one tells about puffins, intriguing. So then you can copy it, and then you have it to your clipboard, and you can post just like that. But I want to take it one step further. So what if you want to get all this information? It's a little too much for a tweet. So the next thing you can plug in is generating a tweet thread from it, where it'll actually show you up to 10 parts for a different tweet thread. And you can actually copy it to be just one big block, or you can copy the thread numbers. Because people like saying 1 out of 10, so you understand how many you're expecting. And then just like that, you'll have a big tweet thread. But, text is fun and all. I like it, but sometimes you just need that eye-catching addition to really make your tweet go viral. So what you can do now is highlight the tweet or whatever context you want to add to it, and then generate an image. So what this will do is it makes a request to replicate, maybe not the most accurate one, but it uses Flux Schnell. That's how you got so quickly. So this was actually just generated by an AI, and all of a sudden you took an article or a blog post, some bit of information off the internet, stored in your knowledge store, and you generated rapid copy as quickly as possible. And the good thing is, since this isn't one of those automatic send tweets, you still get the option to have human in the loop, which is very important, as we'll learn later. So this way you get to review it, get a little extra context for it. And you know what? I don't really like that image. It just doesn't seem real. So let's just try it one more time just to make sure. And you can see within a couple of seconds, you get an image. 3 wings. You know what? I'm going to update it to have the model be configurable, because I feel like the stronger Flux won't do this, but Flux Schnell, these cost me a fraction of a penny. So you can just grind out a bunch of them, get what you like. But that's it. A nice, easy way to turn knowledge into viral tweets with the supporting artifacts.
Wow, okay. Love the tweet generator, love the thread generator, but that image generator, I think you just built the easiest and fastest way to generate images right inside of Obsidian. Like, that was so quick. You just highlighted, hit a button, and then boom, it's there. Crazy.
That came through so quickly. That's Flux Schnell, serve through replicate. I'll definitely link everything below so people can try it out for themselves. But yeah, you can actually apply this to a lot of different things. I just did it under the context of Twitter, but by having the Obsidian plugin generator, which again is in our pip package, you can build these tools really rapidly. So if you wanted to get something more geared towards LinkedIn, you could have like professional within the prompt. You could even have your plugin be tailored to, or you can have the different social medias within the same thing. And Obsidian's API is so powerful that this knowledge store becomes this multi-tool they can do with just, half hour of work.
Wow, that's actually crazy. I think you should make that image generator just its own separate plugin and put it out for a community plugin, because I would use that today, because
nice.
That's just the easiest way to use images right there in Obsidian. Anyway, I'm circling on that. I was just very particularly impressed with that because that was such a cool interface for it.
Thank you. Yeah, but that's like super basic, super straightforward. But I'll definitely make it available to people if I get this type of response. How could I not?
I love it. I want to try it. So
nice.
Make it a thing. Cool. All right.
Do you want to show what you've been working on?
For this week, I wanted to play with fun new technology, and OpenAI recently dropped their Swarm framework. I say it's there. It's kind of that's kind of generous because they're not going to continually maintain it. It's not meant for production, but it is really fun to use, and it has this really interesting concept of just like collaboration between agents as a tool call. And it was remarkably easy to build, and it was really fun. I'm probably going to use it again in the future. But anyway, I'm talking too much about OpenAI. Let's try it out. So this is a part of the pip package. So if you want your own, very own marketing agency inside your terminal, AI marketing plan in your terminal, brings up Hive. Hive, where creative minds swarm. So this is a virtual marketing agency. I think there's 4 employees. There's like a strategist and a creative person and like a technical or like an online specialist or something like that. But basically, this is like the I'm gonna have a conversation with the CEO first, and so let's give it a good prompt in here. And I like solving our own problems. So I mean, I am so grateful for all of our subscribers. I would love us for to have more. Let's see how it would suggest to. I record a AI podcast every week, and I have a podcast around AI and tech that we post on YouTube and we promote on Twitter. And it's doing really well, but I'd really like to grow it into something bigger and reach more audience. How might I go about that? Okay, let's see what it does. Okay, so now we're starting a discovery session with the CEO. Okay, and so to help us create a comprehensive marketing strategy, could you tell me more about your target audience? Who are they and what are their key demographics and interests? Okay, sure. I think our target audience is developers and also just people that are curious about AI tools and how AI can help their lives right now to be better. Let's see. All right, cool. All right, now it's going to ask me another question because it's really needy. And let's see here. Key business objectives and how we measure success. I think the number one thing that we're looking for is like subscribers on YouTube. I think that would go a long way for us, and potentially Twitter followers as well. I think that's what we would like most of. But yeah, engagement's a good thing too. I mean, I don't want to just make content that people watch and then leave. I really want content that resonates with people. So let's see what that does. All right, now let's hit that. Cool. And tell me about some of the challenges you face with current marketing efforts. Sure. I mean, I only have so much reach on my Twitter, and YouTube, because we're a small channel, doesn't promote us in the way like bigger channels get. And so those are kind of our biggest challenges. All right, let's see how that goes. Okay. Thanks for clearing for these challenges. Last, share any budget considerations you might have and timeline expectations. I love it. I love it. Okay. Yeah, my budget is like maybe $100 a month, and I would love to get to 1,000 subscribers maybe by Christmas time. Let's try that.
I bet we can do it for free.
I bet we can. I bet we can. Let's see. Okay, now let's see here. So yeah, approximately $100 a month. Now let me just kind of go through this slowly. So he's going to summarize it and kind of talk about the objectives, the challenges, the timeline. Now he passed it off to his digital marketing specialist. And so now he's going to work on this and recommend some things. He recommends a social media strategy on YouTube, create regular engaging teaser clips, and post them to Twitter and YouTube, maximizes exposure, and encourages people to watch full episodes. I love that. Oh, wow. I love that it says Twitter/X now. Oh, that's cool. Increase engagement by sharing bite-sized insights. Yeah. Okay. I don't need to read all of this, but yeah, content marketing, SEO, digital advertising, performance metrics, for sure. Okay. What other tips do you have? Sure. Okay, so now it's going to collaborate with our digital marketing specialist again. Give me some strategy recommendations, creative recommendations. Yeah, I mean, there's some cool things here. I mean, this is very simple. I built the script very quickly, and I think there's a lot more that it could do. I'm surprised it didn't collaborate with its other buddies. It really just went with the digital marketing specialist, but that's okay. And I guess that's, maybe it did, maybe it was being smart. And it only did that because that's all it needs to, right? Because we're digital marketing. This is a digital thing. Maybe it doesn't need to consult its other things.
What are the other people on the company?
We've got a digital specialist, a creative director, and a strategy director plus the CEO. Oh, you know what it is? Oh, it's because it's set to GPT-4o mini instead of GPT-4o because I was testing this a bunch and I didn't want a bunch. Oh, that's an epic fail, but I think it's funny enough to keep. So I think this is just GPT-4o mini, and it was like, no, I only need to talk to digital marketing specialists. So I think that's what's actually going on. I bet if I changed the model to be GPT-4o, it would probably be a lot better. But oh well, if you want to try that, you'll have to install the pip package and do it yourself. So give it a shot. I would love to make it more flexible. It'd be really cool to have this be like a walkthrough to create the different people. And you could have it be a marketing agency or a engineering firm or, really whatever. It would be pretty cool if it was that flexible. But for now, that's what it is.
Well, you know what? I think we have the perfect guest today to help us improve this. Do you want to hop over to the chat?
Well, let's do it. I'm excited for it.
So today we're talking with Murat Koylan. He's a prompt engineer and AI marketer. Murat, very happy to have you here. How you doing?
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I'm super excited and I'm going to share my journey in AI, my background from marketing to AI engineering, prompt engineering, and my side projects with AI, and hopefully it's going to be an exciting journey.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Maybe we can start with your background. How did you get into AI? Like, you've had a little bit of a different journey than most. Like, how did you get into AI? How long have you been doing this? And what's your story?
I got my bachelor degree in communication design. I mean, I was working with advertisers, with marketers, but one of the lectures that really influenced me was human-computer interaction design. And like we were working with UX designers, trying to humanize these computers and focusing on how we can create better collaboration between humans and computers. But I couldn't find a way to build my career in that area. So I started working as a marketer, digital marketer. I worked for 3 years at like different startups. But I've been always trying to find ways to automate my job, because I used to create content. I used to work with CRM tools and add new leads and then update them. It's very mundane job. And I was working with Zapier or other automation tools. But after ChatGPT's launch, I became obsessed. It was like mind blowing. And like everybody else, I was like, okay, now write it like in Elon Musk tone, or now act like this, act like that. But I decided to go all in. I started generating content. I started learning more about AI, and that road actually took me to becoming a prompt engineer, because after like spending all your nights and weekends and days and like mornings with AI, you're becoming more more aware of how they're thinking. Also, not only discussing them, but also I love reading research papers, and now I'm working as a prompt engineer. I'm building my own AI startup, and still exploring.
Oh, very exciting. I am curious, when you started getting more and more familiar with prompt engineering, did you try to do anything methodically, like do A/B testing, or was it just trial and error? Like, how did you start to improve the prompts that you gave?
When I first started, I was thinking like a manager, because all the people say if you give better instructions to these models, they give better outputs. It makes sense. It is correct. But when you start testing these same prompts with different models, for example, Gemini, ChatGPT, and Anthropic, they act differently. And then I noticed that, okay, this is not just talking with something. This is more like engineering, more like a designer designing something. So I started reading about more like different prompt engineering things, like the main things, chain of thought and a tree of thought. And then what I noticed is, what I learned is, actually we're trying to activate their different parts of their neurons, right? It's a huge neuron database, and what we're trying to do is instead of write a blog, what we're saying, write a blog in in very professional tone. When you say professional, is activating that area and starting thinking about more that way. So that's why start reading more papers, prompt engineering papers, but still we don't know how these models think. We don't know why they give that answer in that way. But yeah, it's more like testing it out, more like experiencing different models and A/B testing. And recently I started working with evaluation, like benchmarks, evals. I'm trying to generate my own test nets, test data sets. But the problem is in marketing, we don't have one right and one wrong answer. So if you're generating content or if you're like creating an ad copy, it's very hard to evaluate them. It's very hard to, even with your colleagues, it's very hard to decide what's correct or not. And integrating AI into this part is harder. So what I'm doing is getting my previous campaign results, what's working, what's not working, feeding them into AI and say, hey, I was using this kind of content in that ad campaign, and they work very well.
Do you have any like general do's and don'ts for prompt engineering? I mean, there's so much prompt engineering logic out there, and I've read GitHub repos that are full of prompt advice and all over Twitter, and I think there's some general themes, but are there any like big do's and don'ts for prompt engineering or things that you've experienced that way?
Man, I think most of the things that we read on X or Reddit, they're just buzz. If you say like kitten's gonna die, it was very popular last year. If you add kitten's gonna die, if you don't do this, kitten's gonna die. Okay, but what's the evaluation? What's the benchmark? Like, we don't know anything about it. It's all vibes. I'm not saying vibes are not important, vibes are very important. But I think when we get some suggestions, we should check more like archive papers, more like research papers, see how they're evaluating their prompt engineering sites, and work with them. So yeah, I don't have very strict do's and don'ts. I would say just start with a short description and then give a good example, give a bad example, and go step by step. So the other thing is this year, Character AI open source their prompt engineering, the prompt engineering approach. So one of the things that they say they don't call prompt engineers today, like prompt engineers, they say prompt designers. Why? Because they started their approach is more like a modular way. So they say hashtag role, describe the role, and then hashtag tasks, they describe the tasks one by one. And the name of prompt poet, I highly suggest to the listeners. It's a great research papers because they show how you actually increase the performance of these models by simply explaining your thinking. So to the first point, if you're a good manager, if you're a great manager who knows how to explain, how to give tasks to your colleagues, then you are way ahead on this prompt engineering side than other people.
Do you have a favorite model for generating marketing content, or is even the specifics of the message you're trying to get across depend on the model? Or do you even compare the different models for a given project?
I usually start with ChatGPT, GPT-4o to generate strategy. By the way, I'm not saying this is the only correct answer, but I tested different models. This is my workflow. I start with ChatGPT or GPT-4o to generate the strategy. So let's say I'm generating an outreach campaign for a B2B brand. What I should do, I should decide my tone of voice, my advertisement copy, my maybe ebooks, case studies, blogs, etc. So after generating this strategy, I use Cloud 3.5 Sonnet, because in linguistic tasks, Cloud is way ahead of like Gemini or ChatGPT, and it acts way better than other models if you provide detailed instructions, especially in content writing or like marketing tasks. Also, I test with Gemini 1.5 because the context size, so it's able to create very long content. If I'm creating an ebook, I use Gemini 1.5 or Gemini 2. They haven't launched yet, right? Yeah, Gemini 1.5, and then use that copy and update by using Cloud. So this is the workflow that I use. But if you're writing content, I think Cloud is the best model right now.
Would you mind giving us a little example? Do you want to show us a bit of your workflow?
Surely. I would like to show one example from on how I create content. So I created this prompt, which is not to create content, but to analyze different content pieces. Why? Because I read different ad copies, different books, different content copies, but it's very hard to reproduce them by using AI models because first, I don't know how to explain, how to describe that tone of voice, that like language structure. So that's why I built this prompt. Here, what I'm saying is first, providing an analysis process to the model. I'm saying you need to analytically think, and this is the reasoning part. I love to see how they reason, how they think. It's not perfect, but at least it gives some understanding to us on how they're thinking about it. And then I say you need to break down your analysis clearly. You need to explain the specific tone, structure, etc. And after each step, you need to critically evaluate it, refine it, and maintain the logic flow. But the main thing is what I'm trying to find. So evaluation criteria. You need to find the tone. You need to find the voice, language usage, what kind of vocabulary, syntax, etc. And then structure, audience alignment, clarity, coherence, persuasiveness, engagement, originality, clarity, creativity, and accuracy. So why? Because even we can try with two different models. Because the training data sets are different, when we give the same content, the keywords that they provide are different. And what we will try by using those keywords, by using the output of this prompt, we will try to reproduce that tone of voice and that content style. Also, I have a quality scoring system here for the prompt. I say if it's exceeds the expectations of this evaluation, score them. And here I provide different analysis techniques to the model. I say you need to use at least 6 of them. You need to use like readability. I am not forcing these analysis techniques. Instead, if it's a very technical content, it finds more like technical related analysis framework. Or if it's a, let's say, story, instead of using, let's say, like jargon and technical language framework, it uses more, cliche or redundancy. And then self-reflection, this is more like a test. As I said, I'm trying to see how it's thinking behind the wall. And report structure, this is the structure, how it provides. It's open source, by the way, on GitHub. Folks can get it here.
Thank you for open sourcing it. It's awesome having access to these type of resources when someone puts so much time and effort into it.
The other thing is that I can show, one of the things is, I think it will be also very popular in 2025, is automating prompt engineering. So as I just showed you guys, it's very manual process. We're trying to produce different content or different campaigns by testing it out. But we can automate this process. Like we can write a script that runs it in a loop and then finds the best option and say this is the best thing. So this is for a classification task. I provide different examples. I think you're not very smart. This is harmful. Or let's discuss different perspective respectfully. This is safe. What is safe? What is harmful? Give these examples. And then here I have one instruction. You need to generate content, and your requirement is you need to focus on subtle and ambiguous cases because these are different. These are difficult to classify, and you need to include these details and it's written in JSON. So requirements, and let's go to the process. Okay, I also give some more instructions about what is harmful or what is safe. So if you let's scroll down and it start iterating. First it generates one prompt and then say, okay, is this a good prompt? Is it harmful or not? And then different models, so GPT Haiku creates a prompt, Sonnet creates the prompt, Haiku gives a score. Is this obvious or still ambiguous? This is the best prompt, 0.5. And then it tests again. This is the same. This is best because 0.7. And then it finds the best version, continues testing this iteration, and then early stopping triggered because it couldn't find a better version, and gives the best prompt here. It says, and the best prompt is classify content using this compressive criteria. It creates a criteria on criteria. It says like, I didn't create this one. It's created on its own. It provides some edge cases, and here we can see the IPC learning. So now I'm trying to build this kind of automations for more like marketing and more like sales sides, because here it's just for classification. But if we have more automations like this for email marketing, for content writing, content writing for X, content writing for LinkedIn, then we can just say, hey, I need to write the content about AI engineering or the news that I saw today, and then it tries to find the best prompt first and then generates the content. This was one example that I can show from prompt engineering side.
Excellent. I think there's something to explore. Ty, I'll let him chime in because he loves his automated prompt engineering. But it's finding the right balance of where the human in the loop is, because I read one post recently and it was talking about how there's no reason to believe that LLMs can prompt better than humans. But I think the ability for you to give it all these different dimensions. I know when I'm trying to say, write more X, write more professional and whatnot. I just don't have the mindset where I can lay out those different dimensions for it to grade on. So I feel like my instructions are less impactful because they're very narrow in scope, while with your approach, you gave it such a breadth of capabilities, plus self-evaluation, plus a bit of chain of thought, that it really should enhance it.
One thing that I noticed is we try to explain our approach to these models by using our own words. But instead, what I'm trying to do is, okay, this is a great example. Now show me how you're thinking. Show me what kind of words do you use. And then instead of like thinking countlessly, thinking limitlessly, find those keywords and then use those keywords to reproduce these content pieces.
So glad you brought up automated prompt engineering. That's just, Mike's smiling because he knows how much I love this. I spend so much of my time playing with like DSPy and prompt optimization, and just like, I just think it kind of is the future, because the amount of times I've written prompts and I write this gigantic prompt and it's all written by hand and I think it works, but then it either stops performing or I try it on a different model and it doesn't work. And it just feels like there's some amount of AI in the loop that's necessary here to like kind of take these prompts and kind of run with them. And also like, maybe, and this is just a hunch, but maybe AI is better at talking to AI than humans are. I don't know. There's a chance. I mean, maybe not right now, maybe in the future, but I don't know. I just love the idea of automated prompt optimization, and I love that you're doing evals. Like, you're actually like, okay, well, is this thing actually good? Let's have this thing pick the best result out of it, and then you can do the human loop to make sure it's actually good. That's really fascinating. So how often are you doing that versus writing your own manual prompts?
So with 99 Ravens, my full-time job, we're trying to build an AI marketing strategist. So there are tons of AI content writing startups. So what we're, let's say, writers AI or copy, what was it, Jasper AI, etc. But what we're trying to do is by using different agents and by creating different personas, how we can create strategies for marketing, and then how we can plug these strategies to these AI content writing tools. That's why I have to create different personas, I'm creating different people by using these prompts, by writing these prompts. So what I'm doing is very manual process right now. For example, today I created, I can't show because it's not live yet, but I created one content writer who has very controversial approach in marketing. Is very uses like curses, and what I'm doing is find books that if a person if it was a person, what kind of books they could read or what kind of content they could produce, they could consume. So I'm finding these example books, example researchers, and then trying to create these prompts by using, we say like in context learning or meta prompting. Find these examples and then say, you're a very controversial marketer, you really like watching like these TV series, you like these TV series because like you enjoy smoking pot and then drink a beer and then writing content while you're kind of high, and then but it doesn't know what's high, and then say these are some examples from your previous works, provide those examples, and then now you need to create a content and then provide the task to. So it's very, as I said, manual process, mundane process, but you have to think like playing Sims, like you're generating a new person, and you have to think about everything and what's their responsibilities, what's their approaches, what they like, what they don't like, and try to create these different personas. So that's why I don't have automations yet on that side. What kind of automations I have? More like for the research side. I use like Zapier a lot or Clay a lot, but to find relevant like content pieces or like ad copies or recent popular things from popular culture. So that's, I use automation on that side, more not in the prompt engineering side yet.
Nice. What tends to be the source of those resources?
So two things actually. One thing is the technical side. So how I structure my prompt, which is the engineering and design side, engineering side. To do that, I read lots of like archive papers, and then I have my one prompt engineering document. It's like 30 page. I found. I can show that example. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, please.
It's a startup from one of my friends from X. I use this Emergent Mind a lot.
Oh, I love Emergent Mind.
It's a great tool. It's like they feed entire archive database to Emergent Mind, and then here, for example, prompt engineering or collaborative environments, it gives answers by using archive papers. So I can easily see what kind of prompt engineering research papers there are, or what are the recent research papers. For example, if I'm searching for tree of thought prompt thing, it's going to provide the relevant research papers, and then I can continue my research by reading those papers. So it's very fascinating. And then I go to this paper, I read more about it, and then add these details and examples to my prompt engineering document. But on the other hand, on the research side, actually I can show this example as well. Storm Jenny. Storm is a PhD research from Stanford, and whenever you add a new query, it automatically creates 4 different AI agents, and they do Google search, and you can see their conversation with each other and create a very long Wikipedia-like article. And I usually use Storm to quickly search about, let's say, popular pop culture books. I want you to find recent popular books about pop culture. Why I use this? Because like Perplexity is a great tool, but the outputs of Perplexity are kind of limited, and you have to create your own queries each time. But Storm does this behalf of you. Like it creates lots of different queries, and then it finds the relevant websites. It reads all of them and creates these outputs for you. And I just extract information from by using those documents. So here we can see the brainstorming process. So it has generated 4 different agents. One of them is fact writer, one of them is young adult literature advocate, one of them historian and genre specialist. And we can see their questions. So they got my query, and then they say, okay, what are some most defining characteristics of popular pop culture books in the fantasy genre? And then they give this answer. And then there are like lots of different conversations on, let's take one, young adult literature. Can you provide specific examples of young adult novels and effective incorporating social issues? So if I was doing this research on my own, I could easily miss most of these these topics, and then it creates this long article about popular culture. Now, if I'm creating a persona prompt, then I can use these books, and I can go to these books or like contemporary voices. I find some parts, or let's say the night version, was it? Among notable contemporary authors, Barbara. Okay, let's go. And then I go to Perplexity. Provide this one, tone of voice, example content. And then I get more insights about this writer, lyrical prose, multiple perspectives, and I feed these information to my prompt and then generate more like different personas. So this is one of the workflows that I use.
I love seeing the pipeline approach where every tool has its strength. As you alluded to earlier, AI is not all the way there yet to be the be all and end all, but by linking all these tools together, you're taking advantage of the strength of each and feeding more context into each other. I think it's awesome to see. It's really the approach more people should be taking to get the benefits of AI, because you gotta leverage all the different things and put the plumbing together and leverage all the different tools.
Absolutely, man. People are like, I try to use ChatGPT for content writing, or I try to use ChatGPT for my marketing strategy. Okay, and it was very bad. Okay, what was your input? My input is I edit my industry, and I say now create an ebook or write an email. It doesn't know anything about your company. It doesn't know what you like or your industry. So I use this pipeline for email generation as well. Let's say I'm writing email content for one of my B2B customers, and we're doing outreach. We're reaching out to thousands of, let's say, chief marketing officers and trying to sell our software. What I'm doing is, hey, this is our industry. Created research about the industry, latest trends, latest data, and I provide them to GPT. In addition to that, provide my last campaigns, provide my product information, my case studies, and then say, okay, now we need to create an email cadence for like 5 different emails. And first create a strategy is say, okay, first we should go with a case study because we need to show our performance to them. And then the second email should be about one of our products. And then I say, okay, I'm aligned with your strategy. Now start generating content. And then generates content. And yeah, it's more like human in the loop, more like automated process, not automated, but more interactive process. And as I said, I think the most important part is looking at data and providing data to these models. Otherwise, it's just as similar to Google.
Yeah, the more you give them, the better your answers are going to get. If you just ask it for a paper, just in general, it's kind of like asking someone random on the street. You're just like, all right, write me a paper. You have no idea what they're going to say. So it's really interesting. Okay, I have one last question for you, and I think it's very simple, but I think it's something that kind of our industry, it wonders a lot about. Our industry of AI developers, we're all developers. We're not really marketers, and we're not very good in the marketing sense most of the time. Do you have any top tips for developers or lazy developers that don't know how to market? Or just what are the top things that developers should know to market their repositories, their projects, their companies?
Right. That's a tough question, man. So after starting building with AI tools, I launched AI automation newsletter. I'll launch AI merchandise store. I was selling, what was it? Midjourney t-shirts, t-shirts generated by Midjourney. And then I had cannabis startup, cannabis AI chatbot, and what else? G's AI internship startup, etc. Where I was lacking of is the technical side. But how I was marketing these tools, these startups, first using X. I love X. I think even if you're a developer or it's a great platform to get some feedback and create a community. Also, I was using more cold outreach, use these AI tools, create a custom GPT or create a custom console and traffic, provide what you're building, and say, you're my CMO, you're my chief marketing officer, act like my chief marketing officer, this is my tool, this is our target, we need to find 10 more customers and in, let's say, cybersecurity industry, and then they really perform great. I think there will be lots of job loss in the near future, because if you see how they're performing, how they're thinking strategically better than humans, I'm like, yeah, it's great. So that's why I usually create different roles with custom GPTs or custom tools, and I say, you're my chief marketing officer, or you're my sales manager. Now I have to sell this one. How should I sell? And just use them, and yeah. And a cold outreach. I love cold emailing, cold outreach. Just create email list and then send email. Hey, I built this tool, this product. Give me some feedback. Or like, do you want to try? And to do this, I use Clay, because by using Clay, you can integrate AI agents and create thousands of personalized emails and get lots of conversations.
With the cold outreach emails, do you also feed like success metrics back into the system to try to get an improvement that way?
So to start, again, the simpler process, this is my tool, this is my industry, these are the latest research, etc. Now create an email, and then after creating email, I personalize emails by using my target list LinkedIn and their companies. So I usually create like different segments, mini segments. Let's say I want to sell software to cybersecurity industry, but there are I create different cybersecurity agencies, cybersecurity startups, and then small cybersecurity startups in New York, or small cybersecurity startups in Canada. And then after creating these segments, the automation goes to their LinkedIn account, find their LinkedIn profile, creates a report. This guy is very analytical, or this guy likes, Los Angeles Lakers, or this guy creates write prompts, write code in this language. It might sound like useless, but if you add like mini PS parts to your email, or like some hints about you've done your research, it's not just a cold email. You really want to talk with that person. In addition to that, another AI agent goes to their website and customize your offering. So try to understand their pain points, and how your tool or how your software might be solving their pain point. You can't do this for like thousands of emails or thousands of companies, but by using AI agents, they just go to this person's LinkedIn and then their company website, and then customize your email and send those emails. They work well. They work great.
I love it. Thanks for answering my really difficult questions. Totally asking for a friend, not for me, of course.
By the way, your listeners anytime can reach out to me on X, your AI marketer, or on LinkedIn, Murat Koylan. I'm more than happy to help.
Oh, really appreciate that. It's been a lot of fun having you on. We'll have to have you back to see some more of your workflows.
Thanks so much, guys. It was really fun.
Ty, that was a great episode. We really need to step up our marketing game, and this really helped a lot. So I'm glad we put together your tool and had Murat on to do it, give us some insider tips. So I think we're going to be better off because of it.
Boy, do we have a lot of tools to use. I'm excited to try them all out. Definitely install the pip package. There's some pretty cool stuff in there. I think the marketing plan thing is really interesting. You can also just clone it on GitHub and play with the code I have in there. And if you build something cool with it, tag us on Twitter.
Yeah, give us the feedback. And speaking of feedback, we've actually received a couple of awesome messages from people who've used the contact. So remember, in your terminal, all you can type is tool use, and then check it out if you want to give us some feedback, if you want to recommend a guest, if you want to just learn more about the episodes. Maybe you missed one, and you can play it right in your terminal. I think we're the only podcast you can play from a terminal.
I think we might be. Wow, look at us being innovators.
There we go.
I'm surprised my little marketing thing didn't recommend a CLI player for our podcast.
Well, that's what you get for using 4.0 Mini. Maybe if you use 0.1, it would have been like, that's the real play.
Damn, Sam. Next time.
Yep. All right, buddy. Great chatting with you.
See you next time.